The journey from Regina to Quebec City can seem quite terrifying, but trust me, it'll be one of the most exciting adventures of your life. You'll make new friends, go on so many cool adventures, experience new things, and you'll bond with all the people you came to Quebec with. You'll really have fun with your Saskatchewan friends, but you'll make some new friends too. And the year is really filled with opportunity as long as you have an open mind. Hey friends, so my name is Catherine and I came up with this little idea of making a video of guidance for your class and for the generations to come. So back in September I was really scared. I really didn't want to go to Quebec, but it turned out to be the best experience of my entire life. So there is hope, my friends. If you're feeling a little uneasy about it, just know that you have to give it a chance and it may turn into something really, really great. So here are some of my personal tips that I came up with while thinking, hey, what would I have liked to know then that I know now? My first tip, life advice, whatever, is order Domino's. If you're busy with homework, if you want to have a fun pizza night with friends, Domino's will allow you to order a large pizza with 4 toppings for the simple price of $12. So that is an offer that you cannot refuse. So Jess, what do you wish you would have known before coming to Quebec?
What do I wish I would have known before coming? I wish I would have known maybe how the buses worked. I had never taken the bus before, so when my mom and I got here, we had no idea. And it was all in French. And I didn't know you could go get 5-day bus passes, unlimited, so we put $3.50 in the machine every time we got on the bus, so we got lost so many times, and so much of our money went into the stupid bus. So that would have been nice to know.
The bus is the best thing ever. Yes, $58 a month does seem a little pricey, but it's totally worth it compared to just paying every time you get on, especially with your volunteering, with your internship, and then you'll just feel free. You'll know you can get anywhere that you need to go, and with the RTC app and Google Maps, you are set. You will not get lost.
This bus is your new best friend.
What about the 801, Sarah?
That too, but any green bus, specifically the 800 or the 801, will be your new best friend for the rest of your campus journey. This card will become your life. Do not lose it.
And always put it in the same spot.
Always put it in the same spot and never lose it. It is your life now.
And make sure you'll get an email from the university with your it'll say RTC, and then I don't remember the exact words, but pretty much was an attestation d'étudiant, so just a proof that you're a student, because then you get a cheaper bus pass. So if you get a monthly bus pass card where they take your picture, make sure you have that piece of paper to prove you're a student, or else you'll be paying full price. And if you don't want to get the monthly bus card pass, it's $6 aller-retour, so there and back.
I didn't get the one because I only went once a week on the bus because I walk everywhere. So it was cheaper for me just to do the $6 passes.
Yeah, so just depending on how often you're going out.
For the simple price of $58 a month, you can ride the bus as much as you want.
All for the glorified price of $58 a month.
But it's worth it.
Yeah, actually it is very worth it. You get to go anywhere and everywhere except for the Levy buses. Do not get on those because you have to pay $7 a trip.
So, you heard it from us. Oh look, it's my Opus card. This is an important card. You even get your picture taken.
Yeah, be warned. You do get your picture
do.
taken.
So if you don't want to look like that, prepare yourself, okay? Just saying. So if you're worried about finding your way around Quebec, it's actually quite easy with Google Maps and the RTC app. So just type in where you are and then where you want to go. So I use my residence as an example, and then I just said Old Quebec in general. And it'll actually tell you where you need to walk to get on the bus, how long it's going to take, what time the bus comes, what time you should leave. Then once you know what bus you're taking, so the 800 or 801 for example, you can go over to the RTC app, which is in real time, and it'll tell you how long the bus will take to come in reality, because there's always delays, or maybe it'll be early or something, so it gives you an exact time.
Okay, Okay, so the only time you'll ever see a bus this empty is at night, because every day there will be at least 40 to 50 people on the bus with you, and there will be quite a few people standing in your personal bubble. Just warning.
But you can tell it stopped to get off thanks to the screen and Google Maps.
Yeah, and they also, most of the buses here have these little shifty things, so like some people who are motion sick, don't sit behind this, sit in front of it, because you can watch the bus turn and it throws you off. It's kind of scary.
As long as you have your bus pass, you never have to be worried about getting lost if you're downtown. So if your phone dies, if you don't have data, you can't be on maps. As long as your bus pass is in your pocket, you can get on the 800 or the 801 or 804, wherever you are, and land back here. As long as you're going in the right direction. Make sure you know your directions. But you'll never be lost.
My next tip is to get out of your room to study, because I know personally I can't do any work in my room, even my apartment here at home. So getting out of my room was really beneficial, whether that be the library or the really nice study rooms that each dorm provides. It can be a lot better to avoid procrastination if you're out of your room.
My second point is that the library, when they say they close at 11, they close at 11. And if you don't leave when the thingy comes on the interview saying that it's closing, then you will get locked in the library. And that happened to me. So thankfully there was a worker who let me out, but if there wasn't, like, I would have been stuck in there all night. So be forewarned. Check your times.
Oh, at the library, when you take out a book and it goes overdue, you get charged 50 cents a day. Thankfully, I realized that after it was only charged 50 cents, I had to give them 2 quarters, but I think it can add up a lot. You do get an email in your Mon Portail, which is like our UR courses, but just for Laval. So they'll let you know, but just make sure you check those emails regularly then.
Mm-hmm.
Which you should be anyways.
You can renew the books up to 6 times, so it's just a matter of going in and renewing that. You can do it online unless somebody like put a hold on the book, so you can do that too if you're on top of your stuff.
What else? Oh, as far as printers go or printing goes, if you don't have a printer, it's fine. You can buy it's like, I think it's $1 for it's like looks like a credit card or a debit card, and then you just put money on that, and it's like 9 cents a copy, and you can print it at the library, in Desjardins, in your, what do you call it, pavillon.
Your residence building.
So if you don't have a printer, you don't have to go buy one if you don't want to.
But you go get your card across from the pub.
When it comes to moving into residence, all my stuff was in Moreau when I got here, and I was first supposed to live in La Sarthe. So my mom and I took all 5 of my suitcases, all 9 of my boxes, and both my fridge and freezer to La Sarthe on the other side of the world. Found out I was going to be moved into Paris, so we took it all back. So 2 ladies trying to carry all of this stuff. So I guess it would have been nice to know where everything was situated, where all the residence buildings were, and having a better plan, knowing that I would need a better plan with carrying all my stuff and not looking silly with all my luggage around campus.
Unpack everything so we can get back to rest. But we were done at about 5, and there was a group that was done at about 3:30.
It's our last day, or your last day.
Done like that, and if it's sunny. And
So guys, what is this building?
This is Paris.
Where you get everything.
Everything you
except for
ever need.
happiness.
Yeah. And you can't get food here though. That's
You can get like better vending machine food.
better vending machine food. So if you're
I was like
Kyla.
Me, if
you
you're
can
me.
find
everything
some good
out here.
vending machine
And then
food.
I, like, found
It'll be good.
a sparkling
It's
solution
like what's
for
that,
like 20 minutes and just like got
Movo, but better.
So now I just have
Better than Movo vending machine food. Hold up. And you don't want to live here though.
No, but this is the first building you have to come to, so
It's a forest.
memorize it.
Party Central.
tomorrow.
Is it actually Party
Monday,
Central?
Oh yeah.
Thursday.
Well,
When
good to know. Thanks, Jess.
I finished
Yeah.
today.
Invest in a day planner. Write down and highlight all your important exam dates, rencontres, tutorat, sorties pédagogiques, projets, présentation, because Marie-Ève and Kathleen will overwhelm you with so many important dates. Very important dates and very important things, but you gotta keep track of them all. And that also really helps make time go by faster.
My next tip is to use these little coupon books. You will get approximately 7 million in your mailbox throughout the year, and you might look at it and be like, I don't know if there's anything I can use in here, but there are some valuable deals, including free ice cream cones from Chocolado. I used all those for sure, but you can get like 2 subs for the price of 1. It's really worth looking through. Pictures of Long Island iced tea, use those too. So like these will save you money. They're actually worth it. I know sometimes it's just like, but. My next tip is to remember that all you Saskatchewan folk are in the same boat. You're all in a similar situation, so it's really nice to have people there to support you. That being said though, don't be afraid to spend time with your new Quebec friends or some time alone, because sometimes being in close quarters can cause a bit of drama, a bit of fights. So don't be afraid to take your own space. Don't be afraid to talk to teachers or counselors if you have a really major problem, because people will be there to help you. My next tip is to find your own hidden treasures. Anna, Sarah, and I found a yummy grilled cheese place called Mama's Grilled Cheese. Find cute little boutiques, go down interesting paths with friends, not at night, you know, sketchy anyways, but
Walmart is cheaper than Metro, but Metro has a better and fresher selection, and it's closer. So when you want fruit, Walmart is good, it's cheap, but it's further away, but it doesn't last as long. Metro is closer, a little bit more expensive, but I find that it's worth it. Try to decide what your favorite grocery store is going to be, because that's also something I didn't know when I got here. I didn't know Metro existed, I thought it was only Walmart, and Walmart had a very poor selection of some things that I wanted, and that made me a little bit sad. But then I found Metro and my life was better.
The mall, there's a pretzel station in the
I
third
knew
mall
she
on
was
the floor.
gonna say this.
And they have pretzel samples. So don't even buy a pretzel, just eat the samples. Like, and if you're really good, you can like pinch your fingers like this and get 2 at once.
She does this every day.
Got a pretzel sample today.
Of course you did. Did you get David's tea? Is it also in the same mall with free samples and a candy place?
Sometimes the candy place. Oh, and Metro has free samples
Friday nights?
Friday nights. Like if you go at like 4, it's the perfect time.
Mm-hmm. You get a lot of tasters. It's like a little Costco. So good. Walmart here is not like Walmart in Saskatchewan where it's open until 11 o'clock and come Christmas is open 24 hours. No, Walmart closes at 5 p.m. So do your grocery shopping early on in the afternoon. Alcohol is cheap.
Okay, I can be
Talk about the mall.
hero, baby.
Do you like this mall?
It's a big mall.
Place Laurier.
It's like as big as the West End, but there's, you know, there's no water slides or amusement parks.
But you can get free candy and pretzels, and there's Walmart.
And ice cream. We're going to get ice cream.
Is the best. The third mall is the best.
it is. You have everything here. The dollar store, the Walmart, Forever 21.
They now have a dollar store in the second mall though, so if you need to go to Dollarama, go to the second mall.
But like that's the only thing in the second mall. Except
Literally.
Urban Outfitters. Or
Urban
Planet.
Planet.
Urban Planet.
Urban
Urban
Planet.
Outfitters is down.
Yes.
The tunnels are kind of freaky at first, but they're all you're going to use in the winter, so you will learn to love them. When I first used them, like, it felt like I was really closed in. If you're a claustrophobic kind of person, it might be a little bit iffy at first, but when you get used to them, like, you'll love them. So, and you have to leave, well, if you're in Parent, Moreau, or Lemieux, leave at least 20 to 25 minutes before your class. Otherwise, you're like running in the tunnels or speed walking like a freako, and you are very sweaty and like clammy when you get to class, and then you have to sit in your chair and be all gross, and it's not fun. So save yourself and just leave extra early so that you can enjoy your walk there and not be gross and sweaty. And I advise that if you want to take the tunnels, go for a walk throughout the whole tunnel. Like take like an hour of your day and just walk the whole thing and get used to where everything is. Because I got lost so many times in that thing with all my luggage too. So get used to the tunnels. Tunnels, bus, and know where you're living before you move all of your stuff to the wrong building.
Next tip is the tunnels will be very scary at first, but you know, once you start using them, it'll feel okay. I lived in LaSalle, which ended up being a blessing in disguise. I was closer to the mall, I got really good exercise from walking all the way to my friend's residence and back, and I also had my own space, which was really, really nice. And no creepy guys, because girls only dorm. But yeah, I know the first time I took the tunnels to my dorm, I couldn't really figure out why it was taking so long, but it's because there's only like one main tunnel. There's none going straight across from Desjardins to my residence. But yeah, once you figure them out, like Jess said, I think you have to go down there, kind of get lost, bring some friends, figure out where you are, and look at some of the murals. I would always see murals that kind of take my attention, and then once I'd pass them, I'd be like, okay, I am going the right way.
Welcome to the tunnels.
They're as creepy as they look, I promise.
Yeah, very. This is the only one that you will walk through that you will ever feel like you're in a sauna.
Yeah, it's real warm.
Warmest tunnel.
But there
Just
is
this
one
area.
that's really cold too.
Yeah, there's a very, very cold tunnel. There's a very windy tunnel. There is an egg tunnel. We'll get to that in a minute, but welcome to the tunnels.
Why might you use the tunnels? To avoid wearing your jackets.
Yeah. Strip them off, guys.
If you like wearing flip-flops all year round.
If you like wearing skirts and then not having to worry about being cold, tunnels is probably the place for you.
So just look at the maps because you will get lost.
Oh yeah.
These are all walls painted by our program.
Past years each year gets a mural to paint. So you have to come up with a unique design to paint on the walls of the tunnels to forever remain here or get covered up eventually. Probably the prettiest one, most interesting would be this one. And here's our beautiful mural.
That took a long time for Jess and I to paint.
Yeah. Unless you live in the south, this is the longest tunnel of your life. This is where we are. And this is where my building is. So, the tunnel system is all highlighted in green, and each of the little corridors that you can go to lead to different buildings. It is very complex at first, but once you know the tunnels, you'll be fine.
I'm walking in the tunnels without fear, and once you reach that point, that's when you know you're good here. Once you master the tunnels, you master life. And then you can make it all the way to LaSalle without dying. It's where I live. It's where everyone else lives. As you can see, to use the tunnels, it takes about 10 years.
Or, as you can see here, there's this big blank space that is a forest that you can walk through to get all the way to the other buildings if you want to visit your friends. LaSalle is a beautiful building, but it is also, as you can see, at the edge of campus.
Par contre, all the malls are right here, so like...
Literally, your entire lifestyle and all your food will be in the metro. And metro is not a station, it's not like a train station, it is a food place here. Also, you will notice that there is no shoppers, it's called pharmacie. So, you see these lines on the ground? It's because there's these little white carts that will run you over if you don't get out of the way.
They honestly will.
And they are terrifying and loud, and sometimes you don't know where they're coming from because you can't see them, but you can hear them. And there's little signs everywhere, like this.
There's Deconic.
That's important. That will tell you, like, specifically they're made for them, like all the little signs on the ground. So don't, like, if you see a stop sign on the ground, don't be like...
Because that's what I used to do.
I used to do that too.
I still do that sometimes.
I do that sometimes when I'm checking to see if there are people coming, so maybe slow down at that. Like up ahead, there's a four-way crossing, a crossroad, in a sense, that will be congested at most times, and you should be very careful when trying to cross here, because people will run into you. That's another thing.
Yeah, nobody, you have to get out of their way. People don't get out of your way here.
So as you see, there's a four-way stop for these little cart things. So don't stop, but be careful. Stay safe.
go out and explore as much as you can, and before it gets cold out, because when it gets cold and windy here, I mean, just like in Saskatchewan, it's not as fun to be outside, but there's so much to see. So when you first get here and it's still kind of warm, like t-shirt and shorts weather, take advantage of it and go. Just go everywhere in Quebec City. If you're homesick, put up calendars on your wall so you can like physically cross off and see how many days until you go home. That helped me lots, and I am now down to 9 days. I've been doing this all year. I have all 8 months, the 7 months before April, were all plastered all over my wall. It's a good feeling when you get to cross the days off, so.
My next advice is to get lost. Sarah, Nathan, and I did that on October 13th. We just went for a walk and kind of went where life took us. We rode the buses to the end of the route. We looked up all these different places to go. We'd see a cool path or statue and just head towards it. And some of my best memories was kind of like exploring and not really knowing where we were going. Like Josh, Jess, Nathan, and I were like completely lost one of the first days, but that's still one of my favorite memories. My next tip is to go out of town. Since you're out east, I know most of you guys are probably from the west, and you're right in Quebec. You're never going to be closer. So I know some people went to New York. My friend Morella and I went to Montreal. My friends Miranda, Sarah, and I went to Ottawa. So like, since you're close, may as well explore all that's around you, because after a while you will have seen everything in Quebec City. So you need to broaden your horizons.
Quebecois people are going to hear you and your accent and immediately start speaking to you in English, but show them that you can keep speaking French. Like, they think trying to have a conversation in English is going to make it easier because you speak English, but their English sucks. Your French doesn't suck. So tell them you can speak French, because the conversation will go a lot quicker and a lot smoother if you speak their language instead of them trying to speak yours.
My next tip is to not be afraid to speak French. I gave in to peer pressure. I would have loved to speak French more than I did. But of course, with all my English friends, we just went to what was easiest. But if you really want to make the most out of your séjour au Québec, then I do recommend practicing your language. That's what you're there for, right? And that being said, don't be afraid to make friends. I know I made lots of friends. Of course, they really wanted to practice their English with me. And there's a bunch of people in Quebec that'll say, oh, I speak English, but you just gotta stand firm. Beginning of the year you might not want to, but towards the end, speak French, and if they respond to you in English, speak French.
Classes are once a week for 3 hours, so try your best not to miss them, because it's almost impossible to catch up on 3 hours of information that you missed. Give your second room key to a friend, or put it in your mailbox or kitchen locker, because you're going to lock yourself out at least once. I've only done it once this year, and I've been here, I have 9 days left. So, knock on wood. And the kitchens downstairs in your residence building, they're all really gross by the time supper comes around. They get cleaned first thing in the morning, so if you want to meal prep or make yourself something to eat before the kitchens get dirty, go like before lunchtime.
And even the food places on campus, they don't have like any not McDonald's, we don't have Tim's or like Extreme Pita or whatever that the U of R does. It's all like the private companies, but there's Starbucks coffee in Deconic, and the food there is actually really good. They always have different lunch options.
Highly recommend getting coffee in Deconic. Starbucks coffee with whatever pumps of flavor you want, and it's no extra charge for the pumps or the cream or the sugar, whatever you want. Then load her up for $2.
The pub's kitchen closes at 10, so if you get hungry at 10:30, dommage fromage.
I've never heard that
My
before.
ethics teacher in high school said that all the time.
My next tip is to eat at cool places. I do plan on filming a little video of our favorite places to eat, but definitely be open to trying new things. Yes, we all know and trust McDonald's, although maybe we shouldn't. But what I mean is that you should kind of, explore the cultural food and just get the most out of their delicious dishes, because they have so many good dishes. Pub has 50% off food when you buy a drink on Saturday nights, so if you want to get together with friends and have something cheap and yummy, Saturday is the night to hit up the pub universitaire.
Also, if you are in any art classes that say you're at l'Édifice de la Fabrique, That is not on campus. That is not on this campus. That building is situated in Low, Quebec. So it's still part of University of Laval, but it's not on this campus. You have to take bus. You can take 800 or 801, I believe. If not, there's a bus 18 that takes you right in front of the building. That's good for winter. They all come to the bus stop here at school, so you can take those buses and get there. But yeah, I was in a drama class and an art class with Catherine and Chris, and we didn't know that they were off campus. We weren't told. It was actually the girl that I bought my bedroom locker from who had told me, but it just kind of came up in conversation, so she wouldn't have told me. We would have been walking around this campus looking for that building, so check beforehand. And then it takes about half an hour-ish to get there, and you don't want to be late, so for that class you have to leave like 45 minutes early.
I think everyone should take the ferry across to Laval because that was a really great experience. Except do your research before you go. Like, times are weird because all the restaurants on a Saturday didn't open till 5 p.m. Like, there was seriously one vegan place open, and that was gross. But they have a Michael's and a Winners, so it's worth the trip. You should go. It's definitely worth the ferry ride because it's cheap to get on the ferry. So Le Drag is really fun, I'll say that.
Oh, yeah.
It's a drag queen bar. The beers were $3 and the shots were $2.50, so definitely worth your while.
So I would say my favorite thing or part about living here is how there's always something different to go and do. So Quebec is always, like, there's like so many Facebook pages that have all the latest events happening in Quebec, whether it's plays or concerts or the carnival or like there's just so many things. There's something new to go out and do every day. Going to Low Quebec or Old Quebec, you're always going to find something going on that you didn't even know was happening, but it's super fun to be a part of. There's parades and just like Thursday nights and Friday nights are the more wild nights here. So if you go downtown, like you're going to have fun no matter what. There's always going to be somewhere to go and something to do. So it's never a dull moment and you're never going to get bored.
Make sure that you get involved on campus. Like, I mean, you don't have to join a club, but like I'm going to like Oktoberfest, which was super fun. I don't remember how much tickets were, but you just like, oh, I just bought them at the door and it was like outside in a tent and it's like fun. And then there's like over the course of the year there's like a few like concerts of like different French bands that play up in the building by the pub. It's like upstairs and there's like huge parties there, and there's like parties in some of the classroom buildings. So like, not that you have to be a huge partier, but like go out, have fun, meet some people. It's a good time.
So this is a room in Pagan. You get you get all these drawers, which is nice. You got this cupboard. Mine's just full of my snacks, so I use it as my pantry. You got a closet here. I have all my clothes in here hanging, shoes and stuff. Sink. There's just a couple shelves under the sink. I have my mini fridge and my mini freezer, which is really nice to have this year. These are all just storage boxes where I keep more snacks and my like containers and cups and stuff. There's just junk here, and your desk, you got 2 drawers. This one's really deep, which is nice. All my stuff, my little shrine there, and yeah, there's like an awkward little bar thing here that some people hang stuff on, but I use mine to put my wall tapestry up, so yeah.
So I lived in Moreau, which wasn't bad. Personally, like looking at the rooms, I like Le Mieux setup better, and that's what we're in now. We were told to go into Perrin, like to fight for Perrin, and when I got here all the rooms were full. But personally, I'm really not sad about that because I don't like their rooms there.
You should say about the elevator in Moreau.
Oh yeah.
You should tell that
I don't
experience.
know how to work it.
I'll insert footage of it. I have so much footage of it.
Okay, yeah, she's gonna insert footage of this stupid...
I don't know how to work it either.
The elevator, like, just ask
Yeah,
for not Moreau, because when you move in with a fridge, like, you'll be walking upstairs. Because it's hard to figure out. And if you're in it and someone presses the button from the outside, like, you're stuck. Like, they just move you around. So, no.
You're like pushing the button and no elevator is coming, and I was like... So finally I like peeked in and I'm like, oh, it's like a like you pull the button down. So then I started doing it. Someone's like, "Ahetsa," because they were like moving mattresses around.
Yeah.
So then finally they like finished, and then a worker like came down the elevator. He's like, "Tu dois attendre jusqu'au moment que like tout le monde a fini de like load," and I was like, I don't know how to work it. Sorry.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Bring your boxes in." So he brought all my stuff in. Like I had one of those trolleys.
Yeah.
So for those of you wondering what the residents look like, they just look like your average building. And inside there's these helpful signs to tell you which way to go in case you're a bit lost. The bathrooms, well, I mean, I lived in La Salle and it was a ghost town, but they're hardly ever occupied. There were many, many showers, so if ever you need to go, you don't have to worry about waiting in line, and they're actually more spacious than you might think. And then all the residents have lovely lobbies. They're really nicely renovated. Your postal box is there and little sitting area. Sometimes they'll sell food and stuff like that, or they'll have a movie night. And each residence building is named after an important person at Laval. And the hallways just kind of look like this, like a hotel. They have nice study rooms all around and a games room in every residence. And that's super fun to go to with your friends and play and have some laughs. And vending machines. There's always vending machines.
What do you wish you knew last year before coming to Quebec?
I wish I knew that, what was I gonna say? How big the campus is, because the first day I got here with my friend Sylvie, we decided to take a walk around campus, and we walked to two buildings and came back to our residence, and we thought we walked the whole campus, but then the next day we realized we saw 2 buildings out of like 20, so it is not as small as ULAVAL, and that was really overwhelming. So when you get here, take time to look at the map and walk. I knew that was gonna happen. When you get here anyways, walk around the whole stinking campus because it's huge. That was my point.
I would have wished I would have known how much I'm gonna sweat here because it's so humid.
Oh, gross.
So I wouldn't have packed any gray shirts.
Sweaty armpits are real. Bring deodorant.
What else?
That's a trick. Tip number 1, bring deodorant.
Bring deodorant and dark colored clothes.
Also, people don't move over while you're walking on the sidewalk. So when you're walking down the sidewalk, like stand your ground, like play chicken with them, because you're gonna live here, and if you don't, you'll get ran over. People will hit you and just so like either move out of the way or just stand your ground because no one moves anyways. But they will hit you if you don't move. Like even if they're on your side of the sidewalk, it's stupid. No one goes on the right side of the sidewalk. They walk down the middle, so just take the road.
My next tip, well, it's not really a tip, but in Quebec, just so you know, jaywalking is encouraged. Now that being said, not when cars are coming, but if the little hand is flashing and there's no cars coming, people will cross the street and they'll look at you funny if you don't. So just know that it's an option. In Quebec, you won't get arrested for jaywalking. In fact, you might get a high five for doing so.
What I would have liked to have known before I moved here,
It's so difficult.
it's hard sometimes, was not to be stressed about making friends. I came here and my 2 closest friends from high school who were in the program for different reasons, weren't able to come this year. So I kind of was coming with no one, and I was a little nervous. I was like, who are my friends? But I made some friends. Here's one of them. And it was fine, so just don't stress if you're coming alone per se, because being away from home, you like depend on people more and you'll make friendships way easier than you do in Regina. And also, with your new friends, there's a really cool bar downtown called Trash Bar. It's over by Bureau de Poste, and Bureau de Poste is a restaurant where everything, well, it went up $1, so everything's $6 now, but it's like super good food, like a good sized meal for only $6, so I would highly recommend that. Mm-hmm. But it's called Trash Bar, and it's cool. There's like a skateboard, like a
ramp,
not a pool, but like a half pipe in the middle of it, and they have events sometimes, and they like throw free beer, and it's really fun. It's a different kind of crowd, but it's still fun. And just around the corner right by the bus stop for when you take the bus to come home, which makes sure you know the bus times before you try and come home because they do stop running. There is a Chez Gaston, which has really good poutine for when you're a little bit drunk.
I think Aqua Size that I took the first semester was awesome because it was fun and chilling. I was with a bunch of old ladies and I was like, well, it was great.
Aquafit was, I had it Monday and it's Wednesday and I'm still sore, but it's kind of a good thing, but it was hard. And people are a little crazy intense, like Olympic swimmers in it, and they need to learn how to not splash when they swim.
Oh my god, that one girl did like kick so
I know,
hard when
and
she
then
passed
the
me,
one time,
and then I couldn't see because the water was in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're gonna do any swimming, bring a swim cap, or else you can buy one there for $2 because that's the rule
Oh, I
here.
forgot about that. Yeah.
You need to have a swim cap.
And they don't
And
clean the pools that often, so like they don't want hair in it in the
yeah.
drains. That's why.
And also, if you are gonna swim here, bring a one piece, because their first Aquafit, I wore a bikini, and you look a little funny when everyone has like a swim cap, goggles, and a like Speedo one piece, and I'm walking in like a pink frilly bikini, like ready to swim some laps.
Yep.
So I bought a one piece, and then the Peps gym, it isn't included in your like school fees or tuition, whatever you want to call it. But it's really not that expensive. In your coupon books that I'm assuming you guys will also get, there's like a whole bunch of free entries, or else to like get a monthly membership if you're gonna use it. It's not that expensive at all. I don't really know what it is.
I think it's like $50 or $60.
Yeah,
But the
it's not
tuition
much.
is so much cheaper. Like it doesn't really matter if you're paying an extra $50 if you actually want to use the gym.
Yeah, like I bought a semester and I think it was like $68.
Cheaper than I thought it
I
was.
don't really remember though.
Yeah, that's cheap.
It worked out to be not that much. Oh, there's a food place in Peps. I don't know what it's called, but it's upstairs. It's the only food place in Peps. It's really delicious. They have like grilled cheese sandwiches for $2.75, and there's like just bread and cheese, but it's still good. And they have like smoothies and like
Smoothies are really good.
healthier options, they say. Yeah, it's really good. So make sure you check it out.
Okay, so this fall, me and Cassie and our other friend, we rented bikes from from campus here.
Rouleau.
I don't remember what it was called.
It's like a little trailer
Yeah.
outside Desjardins across the street behind the bus stop.
You'll see a whole bunch of bikes.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
And it's like super cheap and so fun. And
It's like
only
$9 for a weekend.
yeah, right. And then it's
Super
like
cheap.
an hour-and-a-half bike ride to Old Quebec, which really isn't that bad. Just it's a little uphill on the way back, so just be prepared for
be forewarned that your legs will burn.
And if you do rent a bike, don't leave anything in the back basket because it will get stolen. Luckily, mine was just an empty can of beer, but
True.
weird.
And it comes with bike locks, so you can go like wherever in the city or whatever. But it closes at the end of October or something, as soon as the snow starts coming down. So make sure to do that when you first get here, when the weather's still nice. It's something, just a nice little thing to do for the weekend, for sure.
Desjardins. A building you can't avoid. One that you will always go to. It's very important in your life here.
Because the pub's in this building.
And not just the pub, but your bus pass, any type of food you want, if you're lazy to go, if you're too lazy to go to the mall, you'll want to go here. And plus you'll get all your books at your coop zone. But they will trick you in the first few days, and all of your books will be located on the other side of the building, which is just down there. Right down there. Yeah. New best friend. This beautiful building right here is one of our main residence buildings called Le Mieux, because it is Le Mieux.
Neither of us live there.
No.
Ooh, what's that building?
Castle.
Dun, dun, dun. Black squirrel.
Another thing that you will notice is that there are no rabbits on campus, just a very, very large amount of squirrels and groundhogs. Yes, I did say groundhogs. You heard me correctly.
So this is le tour de la science de l'éducation.
All buildings have these signs, so if you're looking for something and you're completely lost out of your mind, just check these numbers and they'll have arrows, normally going to where you want to go.
How often have you used those signs, Sarah?
Quite a bit.
So we're in the elevator de la tour des sciences de l'éducation. It goes real fast, man.
So I suggest taking the stairs if you have a weak stomach because it's like
Or hang on tight.
yes. So to your right of the elevator, right when you walk out, 426 is Marie-Ève, our favorite person's office. This is an important location. Take note.
What's that? A 13th floor?
What?
I thought they weren't allowed to make those.
Dun, dun, dun.
Just so everyone knows, this is what our program is officially called.
At ULAVAL. So when anytime someone asks you what your program is, this is what you say.
Programme de formation à l'enseignement du français en milieu minoritaire. Mouthful, hey?
Yeah, and try to explain this to people is almost impossible, but it's a lot of fun. Also, important fact, the first two numbers are the floor. So with Marie-Ève's office, it is 426, that means 4th floor, 26th office, and here it's 13th floor, 38th office.
Here's another important building. There's actually not that many important buildings for our program, but this one is because all our CSO and DID classes and all those fun things.
Which might change next year, but nonetheless, it is an important building that you will most likely have classes in. I had 4 classes in here, for example. Merch. Merch.
Merch.
Merch. Other merch.
Other merch.
Ah, la bibliothèque.
Aller chercher des livres.
Aussi, le bureau du registrar est ici.
Tu peux voir ici.
Wow. Regardez les signes. Ils vont t'aider. Also, vous voir here. So if you don't know someone, if they're older than you, if they're more important than you, refer to them with vous. Oh, there's the cart.
Example of a cart. Examples of more carts.
They're gonna come kill us. They're everywhere.
Mon portail, which can be compared to UR courses, is very important. I believe you'll get an email in your personal email saying what your username and password are, and all your emails are in there. Be sure to check them. There's a lot of junk, but there's also a lot of important emails, and you can see all your classes, assignments, and grades on Mon portail.
And my last tip is to fake it till you make it. Just look like you know where you're going, bring your friends along with you. By the end of the year, you might have people asking you for directions. So that's when you know you've really made it. But Quebec was a super fun experience. Go to Old Quebec, go to Les Chutes Montmorency, go to Lower Quebec. I wish you all an amazing experience in Quebec. You'll really grow personally. You might change from the person you were, but you'll definitely have fun.